Warning, spoilers ahead. Welcome to the Operation STRIX podcast. I am your host, LaCroix. Joining me today is Roski Draftsman. Beep. Was that the voice line message system?
Yes.
Cool Blue Rays.
Hello.
Dancing Pineapples.
Hi.
And Sid, who's
Hello.
typing away. Oh, God, I don't know what is wrong with us. We're back, guys. It's fucking freezing outside. My brain cells have taken a siesta and have left me to lead this discussion about chapter 110.
110.
Yes.
110. I was just talking. We were just talking earlier about how chapter 103 was like 6 months ago, and we've had a chapter every month for 6 months, and now we're at chapter 110, and by the time before we know it, guys, it'll be chapter 120, and it'll be 2026. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic.
Woo!
Woo! In the meantime, though, we're gonna talk about everything that Blue wants to talk about, because she has been ripping the phone book with her rabid teeth just off of everything that we've been talking. Everything that happened in this chapter.
I've been howling and growling like a dog over here. Just
exactly like that. That's funny. That's like literally the sound, I think. When they're just like going rabid. You know what, Blue? I want you to walk us through it this episode. I want you to walk us through this chapter because I feel like you're going to be leading a lot of this discussion. So.
Absolutely.
Take it away, Blue.
Let me just pull it up real quick.
What happened
in
this chapter?
We start off the chapter continuing on with where we were last time, chapter 109, right? Where Melinda tells Lloyd, like, full seriously, not joking around, my husband's an alien. Mm-hmm. And he obviously doesn't exactly know how to react to that information. Yeah. So she continues trying to kind of explain, like, you know, she comes off as paranoid and really terrified about knowing that he's going to find out. He's going to find a way to find out about this. And, you know, you think maybe she's just really scared and paranoid. And at that point, like, even Lloyd, let me just flip through here real quick. Like, he asks her, like, you know, what about his behavior is causing her to feel this way, feel so much paranoia and fear around, well, you know, coming to this conclusion that her husband must be an alien. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, Fiona does show up, like, for a second here as a psychiatric nurse talking to Nola, Melinda's, like, guard assistant person. I didn't know her name, yeah.
Yep.
And, you know, just talking to her about, like, oh, you know, Dr. Lloyd or Dr. Forger can do a lot for, the, you know, Lady Desmond or whatever, and actually trying to even get intel from her on the side kind of about what's been going on with Melinda. Though she didn't mention, I don't think she mentioned what she could have found out, or maybe it wasn't anything super significant at the time. Lloyd he's, you know, like, he's, someone, I think SK pointed out that Lloyd seemed, like, the language he was using seemed actually very informed, like an actual, like, the way an actual psychiatrist would think about this. He mentioned a couple of, like, syndromes or, like, something about, like, oh, she doesn't seem to have, like, any kind of mental functioning issues, even though she's kind of spouting, you know, this and that. Because at this point in the story, like, I was actually kind of surprised, but he did mention, like, oh, you know, if there's, like, any kind of abuse going on in the home, you know, we can help you find a way to get you and your sons out safely.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Can let's pause on that. I want to talk about that because that's also at the start of the chapter when we first get into it. And I like what you said, she was very serious about it, and you were I wasn't sure really how Endo was gonna present it, because obviously it is very outlandish, but at the same time she has this like very serious look on her face. She's like, I told you he's an alien, like don't look at me like I'm crazy, basically. And I honestly felt bad for Melinda. I don't know about you guys, because it's like
I felt really bad too. I mean, this is a funny way to handle it, but in a much more serious situation, like, yeah, this is what abuse victims look like when they're saying like, hey, my partner or my parent is abusing me, and you get a lot of they don't believe it, or they find it very difficult to believe, and so you feel like you're going crazy, or like you're being gaslit into thinking it's not that bad, or you probably did something for them to be upset or get angry or to do whatever they did that led to that abuse. And this situation very much, without the alien context in there, it definitely felt like that's what kind of was happening. Because even Lloyd is like, when she says, oh, he doesn't hurt me, he doesn't touch me, Lloyd's thinking, oh, she must just be trying to cover his ass, which is, that's a very, these are all very common kind of behaviors and reactions to either someone figuring out abuse is happening when a victim isn't brave enough to even bring it up, or / being gaslit about how bad it really is. That's what it's all reminding me of right now, in like a very serious sense.
It's a lot, and like I said, I felt bad, especially because when she starts yelling in there, and I was like, when she started yelling, I was kind of like, oh, okay, we're getting kind of real with this. And then Fiona, I don't. Okay, what was y'all's take on Fiona in this?
I was expecting her to pop up, honestly.
Really?
Actually, I saw her show up in like the little preview, in the Manga Plus app, and for a half split second, I was freaking out, thinking, "Oh my god, we're gonna have a Fiona mini chapter, like a side chapter thing. We're not gonna go back to the Melinda shit," because Newt had joked about it, and I was like, "I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if we cut to Fiona in the middle of this." But I'm so glad she just showed up for relevant bits, and she wasn't like joking around, being
like,
right.
It was like pretty much unintrusive. She was just there to do damage control, in the sense like, oh, she just avoided like the like she just clarified something, like, and
I don't know if it was like a HIPAA violation. That's my thing.
Okay, they clearly don't have HIPAA.
I know, but
they must not in Ostania at this time.
Like
they don't even have rights in Ostania. Let's be real here.
That's true.
Yeah,
actually.
that's why. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
so
yeah,
like
but
us.
I mean,
just like us,
just like
for
us.
real.
This entire deal is like a big middle finger to the Hippocratic Oath. So at this point,
Yeah.
Although I will agree with Pines and oh god, somebody else this morning we were talking about it. God, I'm telling you, man, I took like a 2-hour nap. I had drool in my face. It was bad. All right, I'm just barely waking up now.
Jesus Christ.
But I did appreciate Lloyd in this one acting much more like it was SK we were talking about, just the fact that like the chapter with him and the tutor in residence, that was rough. That was rough from like just like a
start to finish.
Yeah, just like
just
the whole
rough
like
from start to finish. I don't remember anything about that chapter,
just
except like, oh, I'm afraid of my wife because I'm actually a really neglectful, incompetent ass husband. Like, oh my god, weaponized incompetence. Hello.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was Lloyd's whole deal, but it was like, no, it was just like, it was like the furthest thing you could possibly be from an actual doctor, where he was like, well, actually, I've been asking around, and apparently you were going around doing this, blah, 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 and like, I was like,
at that point, he was like a shitty life coach or something.
Kind of. I used to think of like what's that one movie with Will Smith and what's his face? Anyway.
You talk about Hitch or something?
I don't know. It kind of reminded me of Hitch for a second, but this
actually,
on the other hand,
that would be a great AU.
Oh my god, Frankie and Lloyd.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
God.
Get on it. Someone write it.
Oh.
Okay. But
Yeah,
no,
but...
you were saying that he actually used like. I would have believed Lloyd was an actual doctor in this one. Let's put it that way. I don't know if he used the term brain pathology correctly in this instance, though. Like at the top of my head, I think brain pathology is like actual like networking of the brain, not necessarily like mentality speaking. But I think I know what Endo was going for with that.
No, but like this is supposed to be quote unquote outdated medical terminology. You know, like.
True. Yeah.
Like,
if you think Endo's being that intentional, you're giving him a lot of credit. I think.
I
don't mean to roast Endo, but I mean, I don't think he's thinking that far ahead. And like, I need to use outdated medical terms for a diagnosis or for what Lloyd's trying to do, which is trying to kind of diagnoose her. I don't know.
It could also be a translation thing. I don't know what that is.
I think it might be that.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, you'd be surprised. There's people. Well, I was gonna say there's people that actually take the time to research this kind of outdated terminology when they're making a story. I'm not sure that Endo is one of them. Well, Endo has researched some old school stuff, but
I bet.
Medical terms are a little complicated in that sense because. You know about Japan and mental health, so that is
most like Asian countries
here in America too. I mean,
they
pretty
don't
much
really
anywhere.
got a good relationship with it.
No, but like for how fucked up America is in many ways, there actually has been some extensive research, and as much as the powers that be that shouldn't be are. Pushing against it, there is a more serious consideration about mental health among the medical community, whereas generally speaking, there's kind of a social disdain about mental health, even as a concept in traditional Japanese society. Of course, it's changing over time. It's a little more nuanced than that, but there's a lot to unpack about.
No, that's true, and I do think it is worth talking about, honestly, Roski, because I mean, we had mentioned it last podcast about. Well, actually, that was concerning the stigma of mental health in this time frame in Europe, but I mean, it's true. Even it's even more true what you're saying in Japan. I remember vaguely there was a YouTuber. This was years ago. I mean, things change all the time, but he was a white male living in Japan. I think he was doing he was a translator, and he was working with this firm. And one of the things that he kept encountering was that other branches or like departments, they would send their guys to him in order to talk about their feelings because they didn't have a mental health thing. Like mental health wasn't a thing there. They were like, basically, if you started crying at work, they were like, go talk to the gaijins because they're the ones who are going to listen to you. I'm busy working. Leave us alone.
No, Christ almighty.
That's kind of where the mentality was. And like I said, this was years ago, but yeah, I'm sure things like that are still happening over there.
No, if I don't know, if I were to talk about the stories I know about mental health in Japan, like from close people to just general anecdotes and general. We could be here a long time, and it will get morbid incredibly fast.
I appreciate the way Endo is handling this and framing Melinda in such a way that, like, yes, it started off goofy, and yes, it still kind of is goofy, but at the same time, you really get the sense of Melinda's suffering, and I really like the way that Lloyd describes it as such, where, towards the end, we'll flip back and forth through all of this, but when she goes, so you think I really am sick? And he's like, all I know is that you're suffering. I'm just here to help through that. He's like, whatever is causing it, we're going to work through it. But, the pain that you feel is real regardless of the reasons for it. And I think that's a really important message just in general, not even just in the sense of this manga, but I think Endo handled that really well, and I very much appreciate that.
That is actually that's actually a fantastic take, and like in general the way this has been handled, like it's interesting because regardless of the questionable terminology that has been used, because like it's not even malicious, it just feels like inaccurate, if not outright made up. I guess it comes down to the fact, like partially, that when you make art, you actually kind of give a crap about people's emotions, even if it's just to on the act of selling them art. So you actually think about these kind of things. Like it's funny because this is not to discredit Endo in absolutely any capacity, but it was more like talking about how he seems to be part of something that I'm actually starting to see in Japanese media. Like they're starting to discuss mental health topics and even other more socially conscious topics that they haven't talked about in decades, a lot more recently, because it matters. Like I especially like when you talk about mangaka that can work 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. They you start to think about these things because like people crack, but yeah, there's a sense that there's an actual care. No, like it's not just a plot device, like something that personally matters to him, which makes sense because much as Fujimoto gets crap for some of his plot devices, it's something that has been like as I said, a trend. Like, do you see that in Chainsaw Man? They explore the same idea. So I'm wondering if it's something that he has been trying to explore for a while, or it's just something that came up the more he started to write the story. I don't know.
I don't know because I don't. And Raph, of course, brought this up earlier, but like the short mission chapter of Anya, like the whole space thing, the spacewalk thing, and that was like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago.
Oh, damn.
I feel like I don't know. Like I honestly, I don't know. I can never know with Endo, and I guess there's no real way to know without directly asking him. But
yeah,
something about I feel like part of me wants to feel like he just like pulled this whole alien thing out of his ass.
Well, no, it's just like... because that's like the Blade of the Moon Princess. She's an alien. The whole plot is that so it's not like it's brand new to Endo to pull up aliens.
No, right. Yeah, but
to be fair, Endo's like, you know, his icon is literally the moon. So it seems like space, moon, he's into that kind of stuff.
All right, guys. So we're gonna tackle it. We're gonna talk about it. Blue?
Yeah. We have
to
talk about it. All right. Donovan can read minds. Or can he?
He can.
We should do a poll
because they just said so.
Are we gonna have our first poll on the YouTube?
I think we
channel?
should do a poll. I think we should all talk about whether we think he can read minds or not.
He can.
Yeah, we should.
Because they just said so.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Melinda. We're gonna trust Melinda on this one, who believes her husband is an alien. Got
She's
it.
the one who's been living.
What if he was
and
abducted by
married him
aliens,
for,
and
like,
that's why he has the
how many
scars on
years?
his head?
Come on now.
She doesn't even remember when he changed. That's the problem. She's like,
she's
was
been
it like...
suffering through abuse, but that doesn't mean she's gonna make up my husband can read minds and is an alien. Like,
no,
I mean, it could be her. It could be a coping mechanism.
Do you really think she'd be that delulu that she? Like, oh my god.
Yes.
I mean, actually, yes.
She thinks he's an alien.
Look, she already believes that Donovan's gonna find some way to learn about this. Like, you know, we could say, oh, he probably has a very large network of people following or reporting back about what's going on with the family. Sure, we can say all of that, okay? Totally fine. But considering the fact that this manga already has a character that reads a mind, is it really that out?
No,
like,
it's not the idea. it's not a stretch for him. Can he actually read minds?
Yes.
Like, I think it's the idea of, does he actually have the ability? And I don't think he has the ability at the same level as Anya.
No.
Yeah, that is actually.
I see.
Like there's a lot to unpack here, because there's a plethora of possibilities. One of them is that Melinda is misunderstanding the situation. I don't think that's very likely, but like the thing is, with cases of abuse, it's a little complicated because the way these situations affect brain chemistry means that some things are going to be misremembered, exaggerated, whilst others are going to be remembered very, 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 very accurately and specifically. So we don't have the means to know at the moment what has Melinda been experiencing, to know how accurate the picture he has about the situation is. That's like the first part here.
Yeah.
However, like, it's very clear that throughout all these very clearly abusive, traumatic situation for her that clearly has lasted years at this point, there has been something that has clued in to her that he can read minds. Like, maybe he was able to say something to her that she hasn't even said to anybody else. And like, oh my fucking god! I haven't said that to Jeeves. I haven't said that to Damien. I haven't said that to any of the servants or anyone in the Patriot Ladies. But she's still talking to me about that. Like,
I have a counterpoint to that, and Blue is going to strangle me. I'm not going to say it though. I'm going to wait.
You're going to wait.
I'm gonna wait.
This is interesting.
Yeah, let's do this. I want everyone's opinion first. I want to go down the list. Sid, start with you. What do you think? You think he can actually read minds?
I'm not. I mean, I'm leaning towards yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's just weird how we've never known what he's thinking, and just his body language and all that stuff is just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm wondering like what has happened and what behavior has Melinda and even like Demetrius have observed to come to that conclusion that he can read their minds. It's like, is there stuff like specific stuff that's happened that, made them get to that conclusion? That's why I'm just kind of like, I'm not against it. Right. I honestly think it's possible, especially because like we see, like, we've seen some panels of him not having those scars on the sides of his head, and now he has those scars on the side of his head, and they match with like
panels, like recent panels, or like the original OG panels, like earlier in the month.
It was in the recent chapter. It was in trying to look for it.
Was it when
it was in the chapter when I think Damien was thinking about how he thought that Demetrius had been like so attended to by Donovan, and there was like an image of younger Donovan with little Demetrius, and he didn't have scars on his head back then. In that image specifically, people pointed that out at the time.
There's also one in this chapter if you look.
You talk about where he's like standing underneath the building.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that just might be like a paneling thing.
But then the one right afterwards shows scars on his head.
True.
It's a very specific detail. We could say that it'd be hard to miss, but I don't think I've ever seen an image of Donovan before, like, any of this information came out, where he didn't have scars. Like, even in Anya's like little imagination for funsies, he's always had the scar marks.
That might be Melinda, like, focusing on him before. Yeah. That's the impression I get. It might also just be a legitimate mistake, because I saw somebody pull up a panel of Momo from Dan to Dan, like chapter 16, and she's got like 6 toes on there, and somebody's like, "Is he using AI?" I'm like, "No, I'm pretty sure he's just a very stressed mangaka, like trying to."
No, yeah,
panel.
like if I talked about Endo's drawing mistakes, like of course not to roast the man because he clearly works very, very, very hard.
Yes,
but some of the slip ups are actually fascinating because they speak of how tired someone can get when they're working in a manga. Like in the boat arc, there's a panel where Sniff Jobs has a completely different outfit. Like he has a suit.
Yeah.
Like he has a suit and a tie and like
yeah.
Don't shoot me down! Don't shoot me down!
Like yeah.
No, you're good. We're just.
Hey, I think it was intentional in this case because it's a very large image of him, and I think it would be kind of hard to miss putting his iconic side scars that we've seen before.
Maybe.
Not.
I mean, if he can read minds,
Sid might have a point.
Like yeah,
but if he can read minds, though, like Lloyd's cooked.
Yeah, he
yeah,
is.
And that's actually
cooked.
That's actually what I was thinking because Lloyd thinks all the fucking time, and he thinks in very.
Yeah, that's one of his flaws, man.
He won't shut the fuck up.
That's one of his flaws.
Like,
in his head.
He thinks in very. Well, it's a little hard to blame someone for thinking, quote unquote, in damning ways because it's all in your fucking head.
Isn't it poetic justice that the man who thinks about every single fucking thing in his life as a spy, that is being used against him here?
Oh, I love that.
I mean, it explains why he's a recluse. He all of a sudden became a recluse because he doesn't trust anybody.
Like, we've discussed how we know for a fact that Donovan, like, he has a very specific way he sees people. And I know we talked about how we think, oh, maybe he doesn't understand people. Like, remember during the dinner chapter, we were saying, like, he seems to be observing his family, but very eerily quiet. He's not saying anything. He's not asking questions, trying to get answers out of them. He's just watching them, you know? And I want to point out that here, Melinda does say that even Demetrius put the idea in her head that he can read minds.
Okay, wait, but now
Demetrius isn't thinking when, like, Anya was reading his mind because he knows, oh, my father's gonna be fucking reading my head. I need to keep it as blank as possible to avoid that.
Okay.
Wow.
Pines.
Okay, then I was gonna say, now that I'm thinking about it, like the chapter where Lloyd meets Donovan, like explicitly says, like, oh, you can like never know a person.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess maybe you could say that you could never know a person unless you know like what's happening inside their mind, which Donovan does know, like what's happening. If we are saying that he can read minds, then he would know what's happening inside people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
So why would he say that then?
Right.
He's like literally like having a little tee-hee inside joke with himself, like, oh, this bitch doesn't know I can read his mind.
Like there's a lot of possibilities here. Because one of the things that one of the complicating things about human psychology is that you can consciously think one way at one moment under very specific circumstances and then think completely differently at another under the opposite circumstances. Like, there's a reason why people tell you not to make important financial decisions where you're hungry. You know?
Yeah.
Because
my biggest problem.
Because if you are hungry or you are thirsty or have some kind of need to satiate at the moment, you're gonna think more impulsively. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the ways where people can think differently in different contexts and different situations. So let's say Donovan meets someone that seems to think clearly and rationally and have strong convictions when in a comfortable situation. Then that very same person is in a more dire situation and acts completely against or completely differently to the convictions he supposedly was thinking about when he was comfortable. Under Donovan's perception, that person thought one way and acted a different way, and that will be contradictory to him. So the idea is that even when you can read people's minds, people are so complicated that you can never fully know how they're going to act and what they're going to do, because people are not consistent. No, people are not consistent. Like,
people are like kind of two-faced. Like, they'll say one thing and then they're thinking completely differently because
they can think completely differently, and they can act differently than how they thought they're going to act at past points. Like, it's actually very interesting to see how people can be a walking contradiction about what they think about themselves and what they think about the world.
I was, as you were talking about that, I was flipping through the chapter where Lloyd first meets Donovan. I'm keeping that in mind. Before I say anything else, though, Blue.
Yeah.
Do you think that Donovan can read minds?
Gee, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I think you know. I think you know what I think.
Yes, I absolutely do think he can read minds. However, I do wonder if maybe it manifests itself differently than Anya. I made a suggestion that no one really talked or acknowledged back when we were discussing the chapter this morning. Mm-hmm. And I wondered if maybe Donovan's, his like mind reading abilities works kind of differently from Anya's, where she hears their voices in her head. But I was wondering if maybe Donovan could see their work, like see it like kind of written out for him, because it was something that was used in another manga, but that one was like a romance one where like the guy could read minds and the girl, she couldn't read, but she saw like their thoughts come out as words in front of her, kind of thing. So I wondered, like, oh, maybe it's kind of different or something to make it a little interesting. If it is the case that he actually can read minds, like literally reads minds with those giant ass eyes of his.
No, yeah, like it could be interesting if, for instance, he can read minds, but he can read it under a different form of stimuli. Like for instance, if instead of seeing words, he sees images, or instead of seeing images, he perceives smells, or something like that. You know, like something that is technically I can understand something about people's minds, but it's in a useless, kind of creepy way that just makes them even more distant to me.
I think okay. I don't think that Donovan can read minds.
Okay.
But
why?
As we've been talking about this, I've entertained the notion of him being able to read minds. But now that literally you just bring that up now, Blue, because I'm looking back at the chapter, the chapter that I was talking about, and if okay, I'm trying to keep it together. If Donovan can read minds, but he can't like read thoughts, what if he can only see pictures? The pictures that person is seeing,
like Bond,
because kind of,
but not like actually seeing events play out.
Like if listen,
like
okay,
maybe he can see images of like what their thoughts look like. If they're thinking like an apple, he sees a picture of a fucking apple, or like if they're thinking about what they're gonna eat, he sees pictures of that.
I feel like it's not the same as Anya, because like I feel like he wanted, he probably voluntarily wanted to be experimented on.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Anya was the success.
Yeah, like a test subject kind of thing, or like they were able to use her DNA maybe to replicate some kind of formula or drug that he could.
Oh my god!
With. I don't know. They injected his brain with chemicals or some shit.
Well, okay, because I bring that up because I'm looking and assuming that Donovan, read Lloyd's mind. If he had known everything that Lloyd was thinking, all the words that he was thinking at that moment, he'd have been like, just taken away, gunned down on the spot. Because
wait. We do have to remember though that Donovan is obviously trying to keep this a secret. Like he hasn't told anyone, so he wouldn't have had
to say anything.
Well, I mean, if he knows about who Lloyd is, he might be waiting to gather enough evidence, like kind of like who can catch the other one first, like a spy
Oh,
versus
that doesn't.
spy almost thing.
They don't need evidence. That's what the SSS is for. Like,
no,
literally.
yeah, but
I guess that's
I
true.
Mean,
okay.
I mean, the
Well,
other
imagine Melinda
possibility.
taking him to the next...
But I mean, you have
what
to
I'm
admit
saying
that,
is.
No,
that
I mean the other possibility
with,
is.
Hold
that
on, Roski. I'm trying to form my thoughts before I forget them again. So, assuming that, okay, I'm thinking if he could see the pictures in Lloyd's head, because that kind of goes. It would go with me thinking that Donovan has trouble. Okay, so Lloyd is thinking as he's talking with Donovan, his first encounter with him, he's got like that evil aura around Donovan. Like that's like Lloyd's impression of him. That's what he sees. And then literally right after that, Donovan gives him that like goofy ass smile of just like that big bright beaming smile. I was like, no, it's okay, everything's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe he saw what Lloyd thinks of him. And he's just like,
right, yeah.
I should. Oh God, he thinks I'm scary. I should not be scary.
So not
right
like
now.
maybe in a literal sense where he sees literally what they're thinking, but kind of like, oh, this is interpretation of what their mind is coming up with, what they feel about certain things, or see in their own way.
Interpreting feelings? I don't know.
Right.
Because I was kind of thinking about Life is Strange. Do you guys remember that game series? I think there was like one character whose power was like kind of seeing emotions or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, that's like that's what I'm thinking of. I'm seeing what you're seeing, Crow. I am reading your mind over here.
We're mind melding right now because that would also go with the whole dinner scene.
What if Donovan is like doing some kind of weird mind melding where he's like, I'm gonna infiltrate your it's like a Psychonauts shit. I've been looking at Psychonauts information.
Ooh, so
like,
fine.
Looking into people's brains. So what if that's what's going on? What if Donovan's like, I'm sneaking into your fucking brain and infiltrating that shit. I'm invading your mind.
But I'm also just thinking in terms of the dinner we just came through, because it's like he's seeing what Melinda is seeing of him. He doesn't hear the words. He's just seeing like
images
the
of aliens floating around.
Well, like I don't. Well, honestly, we don't,
I don't mean
really
to make fun of her, but I just mean
that would be really funny. Like,
so he's just like yeah, I don't know.
I mean, y'all. Telepathy is, the ability to communicate thoughts or feelings from one person to another. So it could just be he can sense feelings from people.
It could be that.
It could be different. It could be different from what they're displaying on their face, and then you can kind of feel the like.
Yeah, I was gonna point out too that obviously Anya is a child, so whenever like we have those little funny panels where she's imagining what people are talking about, it's very comedic. It's usually very funny. Like I've noticed, obviously, that over the course of this manga, that Endo does that kind of joke a lot. So it would actually make a lot of sense if he was kind of utilizing that, like, making us kind of familiar with that concept, so he could swoop in and say, yeah, that's what Donovan literally does. Like, he can literally see what their imagination is coming up with in their fucking mind, or invading that shit like a goddamn evil psychonaut.
I feel like he has something going on.
Where, like, I don't know, he can, like, just see what they're imagining, like, what their mind is coming up with. I think that's, like, kind of... Because it has to be different enough, I think, that it has to be unique from what Anya... can do with her.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like Anya's the success, and he was the failed.
Yeah, like the thing I was gonna bring up is, as paranoid as this asshole is, maybe he sees an opportunity in Lloyd if he can see beyond just his emotions. Like, okay, like I actually really like this idea that he can perceive only emotions or images, or something that is unspecific, because that completely explains his his supposed inability to ever fully understand people, because he cannot. But well, my mind was going very many different directions. Sorry, but the possibility I was going to bring up is that maybe he sees that there's something fishy or off about Lloyd. And as much as he's a paranoid prick, he might consider the possibility like, maybe if I keep this guy on check, I can get rid of people that are tailing me. So maybe like,
I'm so sorry, Roski. I am So I pull it up. Chapter.
One.
Hold on. God damn it. Chapter 99. Where we're first introduced to Donovan. I hate you guys. I hate you because you're making me think that Donovan can read fucking minds.
Fucking win!
It's gonna be long, but I need to reread this. The part where he goes, human beings are simply liars. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'd ask, what if other nations have kept some secret weapons in secret? And so long as that doubt persisted, history would be doomed to repeat itself. We can never know the true intentions of others because we ourselves are hiding our true intentions. Of course, I desire peace as much as anyone, and I know that solving differences with dialogue instead of weapons is ideal, but warring like this is the... Okay, that's the part I want to focus on, is that we are always hiding our true intentions. And
Is that when he's a kid?
Yes.
I figured.
And now I'm thinking, but has he always had this ability? Because now I'm thinking to myself, does he know that people are always hiding their intentions because he sees the pictures in people's heads are like different from what the words that they are saying, and then that makes him believe that like, no, everyone's a fucking liar. Like, you guys are thinking one thing, but you're saying this other thing.
I actually don't think he's had this ability since he was a child, only because of what Melinda's talked about he seems so much more different now than he was before to her in their, like, however long they've been married, right? At least, like, 12, 13, 14 years or whatever. I don't think... what I think is that he grew up believing that people hide, people lie, people... You don't know people. And that feeling just became so strong, especially after the war, that when there was an opportunity presented to him that, oh, I could have an experiment done where I could finally read people's minds or get an advantage and understand, like, who's being truthful with me and who's a liar kind of thing. I feel like he just jumped at that opportunity because he already had, like, this pre-built, you know, this pre-built truth in his mind from a young age and from the experiences he's had, that, like, this was the only way that he could have an advantage over his enemies or adversaries or something, because I don't think he believes that he could ever really persuade someone to truly see his side of things, whether because he doesn't feel like he is eloquent enough for that, or maybe because he just doesn't, he has like no, he's like just too jaded and too like, there's no even fucking reason to try. And I will also say this too. If he had this as a child, would that mean it's a genetic thing? And if it's a genetic thing, why don't his sons have it at all?
Maybe Demetrius does. We don't know.
I don't know. If Anya was, well, she read his mind and he wasn't affected, or they didn't react in any way to each other. Weren't we always kind of speculating that if Donovan and Anya, like, if their minds kind of clash, wouldn't something probably happen?
Well, maybe like cancel out. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, she read his mind, and well, okay, his mind was blank, but we were speculating, or I was really speculating.
Thought in that empty skull.
I was speculating that he was doing it on purpose to avoid his dad's, his dad's mind at all times.
That is
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. I want to come back to that. Roski, go ahead before you get interrupted again.
I just had a funny thought about how you can summarize his conflict.
Yes.
I have so many questions.
He went from autism to brain damage. Like he can read, he can understand people's emotions. Oh, then you can mess with my head so I can understand people's emotions. Wait, I see images I don't understand. Fuck it, kill them all.
Well,
Yes.
just
This is
press
like
the
the
delete
most
button on
deadly game of Pictionary I've ever seen.
God, I hate Pictionary. Anyway.
Well,
okay, what's it called? No, I kind of wanted to talk about that, about the possibility of Demetrius just being like, the reason he has no... Okay, yeah, all right. If we're going off the basis that Donovan can, at the very least, see images or emotions or whatever, intent.
Honestly, where is my
thoughts.
Psychonauts AU? Why hasn't someone gotten on that shit yet?
Why haven't you gotten on it?
I've
Exactly.
brought it
got
up
into it.
multiple times before. I've brought it up multiple times.
Wait, who's gonna be what's his name? Yaz?
Raz?
Raz.
Uh,
It's been a hot minute.
I don't know. Demetrius?
Oh.
Anya.
Anya, you know what? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anya would.
Oh, wait.
Anya
Will that
would.
make Lloyd the embarrassing dad?
He's gonna be the milkman.
Not the milkman.
I am the milkman.
All roads
No,
lead
wait.
back to Milkman.
We really don't need to get into this.
No, you have to see the milkman in.
No, we don't want to see the milkman.
Psychonauts.
Okay,
Okay,
Psychonauts
I
milkman
will,
is fine.
Roski, I will.
Lloyd
it's
Milkman,
just a very
no.
long game.
The
It's
people
very funny, though. They got
listening
great
to this
jokes.
do not need to
No,
know
yeah,
about
like
Milkman Lloyd.
the milkman in Psychonauts is probably the best part of that game. I don't know how they came with that
You know
bullshit,
the
but
milkman.
it was really funny.
Someone was probably really high and thought this was a really funny idea.
And
when
they
put
were
it in the
fucking
game, they were like,
right.
you know what? Maybe I kind of overdid it a bit.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
But it's
Once
fine.
you hit
They
that meat
nailed it.
circus,
Like,
it's all downhill from there.
Like the best level in the
Anyway.
game
Yeah,
involves a milkman.
what the fuck? What were we talking about?
Well, we were
I
don't
talking about.
know.
Well, you were bringing up young Donovan, the potential idea that maybe he'd had this since he was a
Like, he
child,
blocked-
and
yeah.
Demetrius and stuff.
Grew up
Like,
with it.
why-
He blocked it out. 'cause
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he got he knows that dad can read minds, but not like really read minds. You know what I mean? It's just like dad knows
Yeah.
everything that I'm thinking. I'm just gonna stop thinking because fuck my old man. I'm my own. I'm a
Seriously.
teenager dad. Like,
Which
I'm
is
my own
actually
man.
almost impressive that he's able to either he can blank out his mind or he develops some kind of like he has like the opposite of his dad's power, so he can literally cancel out or block.
He's a
mental
blank
block.
from
It's
Warhammer.
like a Twilight
40K.
thing. You remember Twilight with Bella? She was able to do the.
No, I don't.
I can't
because
believe I'm
never
bringing up
watched
the Twilight
Twilight.
movie. Like seriously, right now.
Please
like,
don't.
Please don't.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's
very
too
much.
late.
Robert
it's already been
Patterson
done.
would very much appreciate it if you didn't.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Bella Swan's character more than like Edward, because he's the one who reads minds, and Bella's
they-
the one who does the mental block shit.
Well,
so.
I hate it. Every single actor hates it.
No, yeah, like,
Yeah.
like I'm glad we actually have good vampires back now. So let's not remember the dark era. So
All right, before I forget once more, I'm gonna bring it up, Blue. I'm gonna
Bring
make
up
you,
what?
I'm gonna make you angry
Oh,
in defense
Oh.
of not mind
Oh.
reading Donovan.
okay.
Yeah.
oh,
What
Okay.
if he's secretly just a good husband and father, and he's been with his wife so long that he can read his wife's mind and know what she's gonna do before she does it, and she takes that the wrong way and thinks he's a fucking psychopath.
That's what you.
Throw it on the
Oh.
table, Blue. It's on.
oh,
How dare you? How dare you put out that idea? You
Good.
disgusting sick freak.
I want conflict.
If
Oh
it
my
just
God.
turns out
he should.
like that all this time Melinda's been worried about Donovan being an alien, and it's like Donovan's just like, honey, I just know we've been together for so fucking long, I fucking know you as a person.
Listen,
That would be the funniest. Oh my god, that'd be so
you don't
fucking
know
funny.
how much I vibe with that. Do you know how many conflicts I have averted as a husband because I know when my wife is hangry and I get her some fucking snack and she's just like, I feel better now. And like, she's like, I didn't even tell you anything. I'm like, we've been together 15 years. Just fucking eat
I mean,
snacks.
genuinely, that would actually be really, really cute. But considering what's going on, like, I have to believe that the mind reading thing has to be at least somewhat true.
Nah. He's only reading minds
Aw.
in the marital sense.
Uh,
And he knows his son so well that he knows what he's gonna do, what he's thinking. And
Oh my
Dimitri's
god,
like,
Crow!
fuck
The,
you, Dad.
the straws you're grasping at. This is
Oh no,
My
baby.
God.
I've got the whole haystack in my hand.
Get the
That
whole
was Lulu.
that's a-
Watch, mark my words, Blue. In 10 years, when
In
we're at
10
chapter
years.
200.
Oh my god! This manga lasts more than 200 chapters. I don't know what to do with myself.
Oh, I
You think
told-
it
It
won't
will
last
last so
more
long?
than 200? You think it won't last more than 200 chapters?
Oh,
I
God.
think it will last maybe a little bit under 200 chapters, personally.
I'm
but I'm
gonna
not
be on
entirely
I'm gonna be on my
I'm-
third child by the time we're at chapter 200. So it's gonna
No,
Yeah,
I
my
just think
triplets.
with the way this is like paced, there's no way this is like ending. I don't even know like what we're like maybe a fourth of the way through the plot, unless
Like a
something
fourth.
really drastic is about to happen.
I would
The
just want to ask
funniest-
him and
the
know, like,
funniest
Endo, how
thing-
far are we along?
He doesn't even
The
know.
funniest thing to me is that we haven't even had an
wanna
actual
dream,
chapter with
okay?
Donovan fucking talking. Besides one fucking chapter, like a million years ago. That's the only time he's ever spoken out loud. And then like one line in the dinner chapter, and that's it. All we get is a bunch of silly ass cartoons with Donovan's goofy ass face, drawn as an alien or drawn like he's a derpy motherfucker, and Anya's head. It's just so funny.
I know, that's why I'm
Is this
like,
man even real at this point? Like, is he just
that's
a
why
figment?
I'm like
He's like
so
a fucking
confused.
cryptid. He's like
I'm
Slender
confused
Man.
too.
That's why I'm like so confused by this pacing, because I feel like generally with other stories, you get a better idea of like how far it's getting and if it's been like pushed too far.
Yeah.
This
Here,
one
I
is-
have no idea.
That's the thing, we
Yeah,
have no
sure.
idea how far the plot has progressed.
I know.
Right.
I mean, there's
Like,
so
what's the
many...
end goal, man? I feel like
What
we're not
is the
getting
end
much
goal?
of anywhere.
No,
What
yeah,
is the
Honestly,
end
what
goal?
is the
we have
end
a lot
goal?
of unanswered questions here. Like,
It's like,
every
is
character
Lloyd gonna
has
come
unanswered
across
questions.
At
across
this point,
Donovan
I would
again
fully
soon?
expect like Anya's mom to just straight up show up or something. At this point, like
I'm so ready for a Project Apple arc, man. You don't even know. And like with these chapters recently, I'm like Donovan might be related, like probably might be related to that.
I
so I'm
honestly like I'm maybe just a little bit upset that like wait, we're not even gonna do anything with Yor and Garden stuff, but we're gonna focus
Yeah,
all on this
that's the
Donovan
thing.
shit.
We
like
haven't seen
low key
shit about
disrespectful
Garden.
to our main.
Yeah,
queen.
we
What
still
the
don't know
fuck?
anything about Yor. We don't know
Yeah,
anything about
that's
Yor.
actually really insulting to me.
I know, guys, that's why it's like, we don't know how the fuck long this is gonna be, because it's, okay, it's been, what is this, 110 chapters?
Yeah.
Like, there are series that have
5
ended
years.
in shorter
Oh, God.
stints.
Technically 6, because didn't it start in like
Oh, Lord.
July of 2019
Oh,
or
Lord.
something?
Yeah.
Oh,
my
Christ.
God.
Christ almighty.
Yeah.
We are
So
fucked.
everyone just like buckle down, you know, sit
So
down,
yeah,
relax.
in the next 10 years, maybe this manga will finally end.
No.
Do you think if I
I
hibernate
mean,
for 5
I'm
years,
expect-
perhaps we'll be gone or done by then?
I mean,
You at least
How
have
many
10 chapters,
presidents
so-
has this manga seen?
2.
So far.
Yeah.
and
Two.
and like, well now, yeah, like two,
The two
three.
same ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that insulting as fuck?
yeah, but
I just yeah, but no, Pines, I'm like, because it's like, it's so, this is such a weird one, because it's like, okay, you with other manga, you do get a sense of like, if it's gone on too long enough, because it's like,
I'm
all
looking
right,
at you,
I was like that with
Jujutsu
Don
Kaisen.
Don.
Like,
I'm looking at
Komi
you,
can't
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Komi can't communicate like 350 something chapters, like that's way too many chapters. It's gone on too long.
Oh, Yozakura fam just ended today. Last chapter 258.
That's okay.
Oh,
a long
wow.
shonen. A long
Definitely
shonen.
could have cut like at least 50 chapters, but I'll take it.
Right. But but Spy Family's been going on longer than Yozakura. I think.
Well, I mean, wait.
yes, I think so too.
Bi-weekly,
I
but-
think so. But also the mangaka for Yozakura fam, allegedly someone checked and he's never taken a break. He's put out a chapter
Christ.
every
Oh.
single week.
Yep.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Endo
Yeah.
could never.
No, Endo could never.
Yeah,
He tried and he
should-
kept dying.
Yeah. Like
How?
I'm. Oh fucking hell! Now that I think about it, the pacing of this manga actually reminds me of another manga that I have read, and
Don't say Hunter x Hunter.
no,
Oh, thank God.
no, no, it's even worse.
Blue Exorcist?
No, I don't say. I'm not talking about the hiatuses. I'm thinking about even if we release this manga uninterrupted, if we break down the structure of how this is flowing, this is actually reminding me a lot of the early Rumiko Takahashi manga,
Okay.
and that is concerning.
Okay.
Because,
I'll take your word for it.
Like Rumiko Takahashi is one of the biggest mangaka of all time.
Mhm.
Urusei Yatsura, Ranma 1/2, Inuyasha. And you can see the problem already.
Not
Yeah,
Inuyasha.
you can see the problem already. Like, you get a breakthrough in the story, then you get a dozen chapters where nothing fucking happens. You get baby steps, nothing fucking happens. Baby steps, nothing fucking happens. Like, I can worst case scenario, I can see this manga go for over 300 chapters.
Shut up. You shut your
Like,
mouth right now.
No, you know what I was thinking is, so I just finished reading Golden Kamuy for the first time, all 314 chapters, and it really did not pick up until I was like over 100 chapters in. Like, it took up to like 120 chapters for like the pace and tone to like change so much that I was like, okay, now I'm like really invested and I want to read this. But like before that, it took me like weeks, like months to get through the first 120 chapters. So maybe this is the pace that Endo is setting up for Spy-Fam.
Oh yeah,
in the next 10 chapters, we're gonna be buckled the fuck in.
That's such a buckle the
I mean,
fuck
we've been
in
getting progress
in a year,
lately, though.
That's the thing. Maybe this is a turning point.
Yeah,
might.
honestly,
We say this a lot, though.
I know.
Oh god,
we
we're
do say
so
this
hard.
a lot, but this is like the closest we've actually gone to Donovan, like actually more information about him through Melinda, like for the first fucking time in forever. So I'm really excited about this.
But see,
This is the most Donovan has ever been put in this focus.
That's the problem, though, is like Endo isn't that kind of mangaka though. That like, though you're probably right, because it does seem like the manga is like picked up ever since the flashback arc. Not the first one, the second one. But Endo doesn't have it in him to do that for that long of a time, and that might be his plan. But I don't see him physically doing that, and that really concerns me.
Like that's why I brought up Takahashi Rumiko with because I don't know if you have read the Ranma One Half manga, but it's interesting. No, okay, but it's interesting because like you get lots of chapters which are just short arcs of goofy bullshit, like delightful, funny, familiar. But really. But absolutely goofy bullshit that goes nowhere, doesn't really technically progress the plot, and then around chapter 150, like the 200, you start seeing small arcs that actually have stakes. They actually have drama. They actually build up and change some character dynamics. Then other long batches of goofy bullshit. Interspliced with other more serious arcs. I think you see some similarities with this pattern, but or at least I hope you do. But I mention it because maybe it's gonna start getting a little faster, but I still do believe we're gonna get some stretches of nonsense.
I was gonna say, I feel like you can pinpoint certain times in the manga where you can tell that Endo didn't really know where to go next, because we just had stretches of just like 1-2 off like comedy chapters, which is fine. Like we all love the slice of life part, but I do think that like it's like maybe he's finally figured out where he wants to really go.
Maybe,
which I'm okay with. I'm glad if that is the case. He just bites off more than he could chew. I feel like
I will be delighted if that's the case. I hope that's the case. Yeah. But if it's not the case, I'm not surprised. Like that is
for his health. I sure hope he does, because this dude.
Yeah.
I agree 100%, Roski, with what you're saying. Is just like for his health, you gotta take those breaks. You can't go pedal to the metal the whole time. But I think he takes so many breaks in between that it causes him more. It makes it more difficult for him to get back on track once to like put everything back together, because he'll go so far off and then he has to bring it back, because we were so far off Donovan for like 60 chapters, and then he's just like, all right, I gotta find some way to fucking tie all this shit back together. And like he kind of tied it back together a little bit with the Henderson thing, but like it still kind of came out of left field, like, but he just had to throw it in there at a certain point, because it was like, honestly, what else are you supposed to do?
I feel like
also, how long is this winter break?
It's only been like, it hasn't even been a week. It hasn't even been a fucking
I
week.
just realized we're not even back to Eden yet.
No.
I thought that we would be back at Eden by now. The fuck?
That's like when somebody told me that Dandadan has only been like 2 months.
Oh my
Wait, are you
God.
serious?
Like at
God.
most like 3 months.
Jesus
Say
Christ.
psych right now.
No.
Say psych right now.
No. I wish.
No.
I wish not.
No, but I mean, to be fair, there's long stretches of Dan that clearly happen in just a single hour. You know, like some.
Oh
very
yeah,
long-
the past like 10 chapters, guys. That's only been like a couple hours.
It's been like what, half a school day?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah. Shonen is weird, bro. Shonen be tripping sometimes.
Yeah, the way they handle their time pacing is like you get like so much in like a week, and then you skip like 10 years.
Oh,
I mean,
like
I was gonna say Hell's Paradise, all 100 chapters takes place in less than a week.
Oh my
Fuck.
god.
no.
They've
I
been there
mean-
for a week, and that's it.
Guys,
oh.
I've seen worse. Do I even unpack One Piece?
Oh, One
Wait.
Piece? Oh, Jesus
How long has
Christ.
it been in One Piece?
The first half before that time.
Oh no, it's been like at least 3 years.
No,
Well,
but
2 years.
Wait,
No,
what was
yeah,
the one
but-
that was for
no,
1
but-
week? I
no,
kind of
but,
blanked out
like-
for a sec.
no, but let's
Hell's
let's
Paradise.
put it in perspective.
Hell's
like-
Oh my God.
Like from the moment Luffy left East Blue and started his trouble, before the time skip when he started to train to not get fucked over by the admirals,
Mm-hmm.
which is like nearly 600 chapters. That's less than 2 months.
Shut up.
Then you have a two-year time skip, and you get another stretch that is again less than 2 months.
He
Up
gets
to this day.
he gets his ass
This
beat-
manga has been running since 1997.
Wait. So he gets his ass beat. He gets his ass beat by
It's
Arlong,
speed.
and then he fucking
It's
fights
speed.
admirals in 2 months.
Yeah.
Alright. Shonen is weird, bro. And then we're gonna get Spy Family Shippuden, and then Ani's gonna be a teenager. Oh my god. Oh Lord have
Christ
mercy on my
almighty.
soul. This is okay, yeah.
Poop
For
got
those of
angry,
you
man.
listening and watching at home, we have no idea what the fuck is gonna happen next. Oh my god.
Should I
I'm
mentioned
shutting
in
the
the chat.
brain off for a while.
Yeah.
I remember I
Probably for
mentioned
the
it in the chat earlier that I was
Wahoo.
gonna sing.
Wahoo.
I don't know if I can at this point. Oh my god.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. So yeah, that's chapter, guys. That's also my sanity completely out the window. So
We've all turned into Melinda now.
we are Melinda. Melinda is us. Everybody get your tinfoil hats on. It's time to
Mine has
party.
been here.
I should have brought mine, Pines. I'm sorry. I woke up late. I couldn't eat enough
My
Hershey's Kisses
tinfoil
to make mine.
fedora is
Wait.
nicely styled.
My lady.
Why haven't we drawn Melinda with Damien and Demetrius like that photo from Science? Why has nobody done that
Sorry,
meme?
Can we talk? No, wait. The one from fucking Roski from Scary Movie 3, where they got the giant kisses on their heads and they're fucking eating them. I'm sorry.
What the
Yeah.
hell?
I'll see if there's a GIF. I'll fucking put it in the chat later. But
Please.
yeah. All right, guys. I don't want to talk anymore about this.
We're losing our
Ooh.
fucking minds.
Should we do final predictions for next chapter?
Sure. I have nothing. Blue.
I want to make a complete tinfoil hat prediction.
Okay, you go,
do
Sid,
it.
you go.
Okay.
You know, it was mentioned. It was mentioned in the chapter already. But what if like Melinda actually brought Donovan to the next section? Next week?
I don't
That
think
would
it'll
be
be next
crazy.
week. I don't think next week. I think we might get in a couple chapters.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
I want that to happen,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna like fully expect it.
I'll be eating popcorn.
that will be the funniest thing that will happen.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
Lloyd would shit his pants.
Oh, the entire server would shit their pants. Blue would shit her
Yeah.
pants. Blue would shit
I would
your
also
pants.
shit my pants. We're all shitting our pants.
Okay.
I see
Okay.
the poop god.
But
is
you're
working
saying-
magic.
Poop God. All right, so that's Pine's
predictions.
prediction. Or Pine's. Sid, Pines, what's your
I'm
prediction?
Pines now.
Welcome to the life of being a dancing pineapple, Sid.
Dance the night away.
I think my prediction is that it's gonna actually stay at home in the forger apartment, and Lloyd is gonna keep thinking things, and Anya is gonna keep reading his mind. And I think there's gonna be drama from that. At least that's what I want.
Oh,
Okay.
Can you imagine if we like all of a sudden just delved into Anya's past? From like just that being
That would
brought
be
up.
so crazy.
If that
I
happens,
mean, reading minds has now been brought up, and it's not.
I want
involving
money.
Anya, so.
and no, I want
money.
royalties.
Cash a check. I
Yeah.
have Zelle.
Oh.
I have Venmo.
Blue,
Yeah.
pull up that Venmo. What's your prediction?
I'm trying to think here. Based off the last panel with Anya being completely shocked at the idea that the evil super boss has the same power as her, makes me assume that we might get Anya back at Eden bothering the shit out of Damien, or maybe Demetrius even, and trying to subtly see if she can get them to drop any hints that they know about the mind reading, I don't know. Just something silly, I guess, at that point. It would be interesting, though, if Demetrius maybe picked up on what she was trying to do and is like, oh, you're like my dad? Question mark? I don't know. Maybe we would get Demetrius stuff. That would be kind of
More
cool,
Demetrius
actually.
stuff. Okay, I approve.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
Just disassociating at dinner, which I completely vibe with.
Good old dissociation Desmonds.
I kind of feel for him now
Disassociation.
from all this family drama that's coming out. I'm like,
For real.
yeah, I would also be disassociating and
Honestly,
no thoughts,
he's
zero
probably the
thoughts.
most normal. He's a teenage boy zoning out, not giving a shit.
Like that actually sounds. That sounds normal.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Kitty.
Maybe.
Oh, he's cute.
Oh, Millie.
I don't know if you heard her. She was squeaking.
Oh, I totally
she
did.
announced herself. You heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Millie's part of the podcast now.
Oh my god.
She agrees.
She got
Really?
to say.
What do you
Listen
think
here.
about the chapter? Oh,
Oh.
okay. She don't care.
All right, Rusky. Final prediction.
It's less a prediction. It's just more what I want. I want to them finally getting back to Eden, like not because I
To
want
Eden.
Eden shenanigans, but just because it will imply the passage of time and maybe get things moving.
That's fair.
All we want is the passage of time.
All we want is time.
Unless it
ship
is
again.
manga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
Where's
I
the
kinda
time
want to
traveling
know.
cat, huh? Where's that?
Oh, that
Oh.
fucking AU. Oh god.
Yeah. Alien
Why?
cat. Oh my god, remember
Alien cat. Oh my
Holy
god.
shit, I forgot about Alien Cat.
That was
Oh my
like
God.
what? That was like when there
That
was
was a
only like
million years ago.
20 fucking fanfics.
Yeah.
On the archive.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Alien Cat.
Did one of our people write that? Was one of the same
Our
people?
people?
wrote that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
We had a
No.
Are you talking about the
monopoly on
art?
No, there was an Alien Cat fanfic. Like Anya found a cat and turned out to be an alien, and like I don't know, I forgot. It had like
We
I
just
remember
really wanted them to
the
get a
fic.
kid.
I remember fan art
Psychic cat.
of like you're finding a black cat, but I didn't know about the alien cat.
No, I think this one was like a tabby, like an orange cat or something.
Orange
No, this was
cat.
back. No, this is literally like, like 2020. Like there was only like 23 stories on AO3 at the time. We were starved for content. It was a dark time.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was. We
Yeah.
were just.
That's
We were
crazy.
creating the
Best out
content
there.
ourselves.
That's why I said our people, because before the anime came out, we had a monopoly on that bitch.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But yes, passage of time, something
Yeah,
tangible would be very nice.
Also, we will get final confirmation if we are gonna see more of Crowley. You know,
Yeah, I do want to
with
see
his
more.
beautiful square head.
If that's gonna be right, she wants to see it too. The kitty wants to see Crowley.
Excellent point, Millie.
Millie, come here. Oh, I'm just trying to put her up to the.
Say goodbye, Millie.
Say goodbye. She's giving me airplane ears.
Good. Keep at it, Millie. You're doing great. The rest of us, we're gonna go ahead and sign off for the day, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Oh, and I will be putting up that the what's it called? The poll. We're gonna have our first poll. See if everyone thinks that Donovan is an alien or psychic or both or neither. Ooh, that's good. That'll be a good poll.
The boring option.
The boring option. The Crow sponsored option. All right, but thank you guys. We'll see you all again soon. Bye.
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 Bye.